I hope everything is fine in Israel. Everybody just disappeared. So I hope everything kind of settled down a little bit. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? Pat, you don't have a question? No? Okay. Questions are good. They get my engines going. Chakra's working.
Stuart, can you talk about the longevity or the long-term commitment to this work?
Yeah, look, my commitment has been over 50 years now. I would say that's a long-term commitment. Hasn't hurt me any. I mean, who thinks in terms when you're 25 years old, you're going to make a 50-year commitment to something? Never thought about it. It's only that it worked and it still works. And that's the reason I've committed myself to this, not, because of any other reason. It worked. It saved my life years ago. It gave me a life. Every day it regenerates my life. And all it is a simple little exercise and attending meditation classes. I mean, it's not difficult to commit oneself to something if you know it's working for you. And if it's working for you, then you have gratitude, you commit, you say, okay, and you let it yourself evolve in it and grow it. You overcome the skepticism, that part of you that, you know, doesn't trust, and you watch what you've committed yourself to really help you to grow in your life. Makes the commitment even deeper. I mean, time is irrelevant, in terms of cosmic energy and universes and lifetimes of energy. I mean, time, what is one lifetime? What is 10 years? What is 6 months? Doesn't amount to anything. And yet, in that period of commitment and the work we do on ourselves, because of the commitment we make, we grow, we change, we evolve, we get closer to a state of spiritual enlightenment. I mean, I've had to do this for a very, very long time. Every day, recommit myself. And people do it in jobs, you got to earn a living, you got to pay the rent, you got to live, eat. You commit yourself to doing work. You have to surrender something to do the work because it enables you to live. Well, this is no different. You have to surrender a great deal, actually, in order to do it because it gives you life. It makes it possible for you to grow and develop wisdom, knowledge, deeper understanding of life, more patience, more tolerance in the world. Ultimately, as I always say, just to become a happy person. But without commitment, nothing works. I know when I sit down to write a book, I got to commit myself or the book will never work. And all of life requires this. You want to become a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, or, whatever a business person, you got to commit yourself in order to make whatever you choose work. And this is not easy for people. We always somehow want out, especially when something demands that we grow up, we get stronger, we, build a system inside that really is connected to higher force of energy. There's always a million reasons to run away from it. But then the commitment is what makes the process work. And it's almost silly not to commit oneself to something that really helps you in your life. You want a marriage to work, a relationship to work, you got to commit. It's not going to work. And then what shows commitment is the way you function every day, you know, how you act, how you interact with other people, the priority, say this meditation. Well, on Wednesday and Tuesday, and I got to be there because that is really helping me. And I can say no to a half a dozen other things that come about. I used to do it years ago. I told you the stories. I would have clients that wanted to come by and buy things for me at 7 o'clock in the evening. And I mean, I wasn't dealing in inexpensive stuff either. These were very wealthy people. And I would say, no, I can't be there at 7 o'clock. I have to teach a meditation. I never lost a client. All right, can we come at 8? Can we come tomorrow morning? Yes. This used to happen all the time. And then they used to, what do you teach? What is it that you're teaching? I used to have a client in France. I'll never forget. I would go to their house in Versailles, and they'd always have me for lunch. And the whole lunch was asking me questions about the meditation I teach. It's really something. Does anyone else have a question? And after lunch, then we would go do the business. Does anyone else have a question? I hope it's clear about commitment because honestly, nothing works unless you make a commitment to it. And that means letting go of other things. And it's not fanatical, you know, it's what you do because it helps you in your life. And I think that is very significant because there's not a lot of stuff in this world that really helps us every day in our life. Does anyone else have a question? And it's not just one thing you're committed to, it could be many things. But if the commitments are real and the need to grow spiritually is real, none of the things you're committed to will interfere with each other. They won't. It's kind of a miraculous thing that happens, how everything makes room for the other thing. And one doesn't feel like they possess anything. It all makes room. It's all essential for one growing and having a spiritual life. So there's always somehow it works out. And I'll tell you the story. Years ago when I was younger, in the 20s, and up to about 25, 26, I used to work as a waiter in restaurants. And I must have worked at least 100 restaurants in New York City, maybe 3, 4 months, or I would quit or get fired or, whatever. But I remember, I finally said, Stuart, you got to stop this. And I made a commitment to myself. If I have to work the rest of my life as a waiter, if that's what God wants me to do with my life, I will commit myself to doing the best possible job I can possibly do. And I won't get fired. And I got a job in a restaurant, and I'll never forget the day I quit. It took about 6 months, and I quit because I had something else. I had another kind of business I was going to run. And the owner of the restaurant came up to me and said, Stuart, if you ever need a job, you're always welcome to come work here. And I knew I was finished with that for the rest of my life. But I'll never forget when I went into this job and I said, well, what hours do I have to work? And the manager said, well, what hours do you want to work? I couldn't believe my ears because I nearly needed to be in Rudy's meditation classes. And that would always interfere. And I told him the hours. He said, fine, you're hired. Come in those hours. It left Rudy's meditation classes open to me. Was God working? Was the need to do it was so strong that it just opened, God, God working. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? The best part of all of this is, life is got to be able to laugh and enjoy yourself, have fun. And commitment doesn't mean you get serious about life. It means you just do something you got to do because it works to help you in your life. That's all it means. Doesn't mean you become a fanatic, you get crazy. You do it because it works and it helps you. And then people begin to respect that because they see you growing and changing. And they kind of leave you alone about stuff that they used to bother you about because it works. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, no more questions. There will be meditation tomorrow evening. Those of you that attend that class, and then also Thursday. There won't be meditation in 2 Sundays from now because I'll be having a retreat here. And then as I've been announcing, I'll have a couple of days I'll spend here because people stay over, so I can have classes with them. And then I'm going to go on a vacation for 4 or 5 days, something that I need to do. Okay, God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here, being in my life. It's just a miracle to come here and do this with people all over the world, for God's sake. It's just extraordinary. So thank you. Bless you. People in Israel, be safe. You all disappeared. It must have been sirens going off. Yeah. So be safe and take care of yourselves, and God bless you all. You have all my love.
Oh,
Thank you, Stuart.
thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thank you.